All right, well, welcome. Here we are yet again, Hotel Barracuda, Tuesday morning, Expat Club. And as always, Ron Carter is who I am, and my privilege is to introduce our speaker to you and interview him. So, Dr. John Pollard, okay, so thank you very much for coming with us.
My pleasure.
All right, now John was talking about self-parenting and how your mind is a powerful area for change, but you spoke about two voices in the mind. Would you like to just talk a little bit about that for me?
Sure. So inside your mind, you're having a conversation.
Okay.
If there was only one voice,
Yeah.
there would be no conversation.
True.
Just be you going.
True. Yeah.
So my quest was to understand who are these two voices
Okay, interesting.
and what's their perspective.
Okay, interesting.
So I was lucky enough to learn about a Hawaiian religion that
Okay, yeah,
talked
you
about
mentioned that briefly, yeah.
three selves, but the lower two selves are one self we call the inner parent,
Okay.
the other self we call the inner child.
Okay.
So what it turns out is that conversation is the inner parent parenting your inner child inside your mind.
Okay, but you also mentioned your style is very much governed by the way your parents managed you and parented you. Is that right?
Yes, when you were young, you're a little baby, you just look up
Yeah.
and you copy whatever you see.
Yeah, of course.
And your parents are out there going the way they are to you, the way they are to each other.
Yeah.
And you just mimic that, copy it, and it
Okay.
goes into what we call programming.
Okay.
It programs your mind.
Now, what can go wrong? Because you also mentioned things that can go wrong with this.
If your parents were loving, supporting, and nurturing,
Right.
you're in good hands.
Okay.
Because your inner conversations will be loving, supporting, and
course.
nurturing. If your parents were abusive, neglectful,
Yeah.
angry, addicts,
Yeah.
all kinds of negative
Yeah.
traits, then you absorb those inside your mind, and you
Of
wind up,
course.
you're 20 years old, and you're going, you stupid jerk, why
Yeah.
don't you do this,
Yeah.
and what's the matter with you?
Okay, so you've got this angry inner conflict going on.
Your
Yeah,
self-parenting is
abusive,
what we call
yeah.
negative.
Yes, yeah, no, agree, interesting, eh? And then you're talking about inner conflicts, but you spoke about working on yourself is really, I've got written down here, at a deeper level. Is that right?
I honestly believe this. If you and I are talking,
Yep.
we're having a conversation in the real world,
Yes.
let's call it.
Yeah.
So that can work. Therapists can be helpful.
Yep.
But when you're self-parenting, you're inside
Agree.
your brain where
Yeah.
your mind operates.
Yep.
So I call it a deeper level, like an atomic level,
Okay, you mentioned that, yeah.
or there's another word, that you just, if you can love and accept yourself on the inside, that goes everywhere
Oh, agree,
else.
100%.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't accept themselves. That's the first challenge.
That's the bottom line. Yeah.
Agree. Okay, and then you've got here 8 steps to parenting conflict.
Okay.
Now, without going through the whole 8 steps, because we don't have a lot of time,
No.
but just,
Basically, when you have an inner conflict, what
Yeah.
happens in your mind, like here's an easy way to know. If
Yeah.
you have the same conversation in your mind for 3 days,
yeah,
that's an inner conflict
interesting.
because it's just not getting resolved,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So there's an 8-step procedure where you
Okay.
start by writing out what you're hearing.
Yep.
Then you say this side's the inner parent, this side's the inner child. Inner parent wants this, inner child wants that. Oh, we can't do both.
Yeah,
So then you say, well, I'll do this if you do that. And you just work it out. And the goal is a win-win
yeah.
resolution. And it's easy. You can do it. You
course.
just have to put in the...
And it's funny, one of the challenges now is a lot of people don't use a pen or paper.
Yeah,
This is the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Because I was brought up exactly the same. You write things down, problem solving,
Get it out of
whatever
your
it is.
head.
Put it down, goal setting, you
Yeah.
put it down, now
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
see it,
yeah.
which is really the same. So that's another little challenge there, writing it down.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, interesting,
Yeah,
eh?
I agree.
In a different world totally now anyway. And then, forgive me, we don't have a lot of time on this interview.
No worries. Yeah.
We've got a lot of people out there that face challenges every day. A lot of our members face challenges. So what are your last words on self-parenting that everybody can benefit from it?
When you need to know that what you're doing is right,
Yep.
you need both selves
Okay.
combining, and then you can act.
Yeah.
If you have one self fighting the other self,
Yeah.
you're going to have trouble. So with self-parenting, you can learn to create win-win
Yes.
inner conversations,
Yeah.
and then you have to go out and fight the outer world.
All right, okay. Now, I'm just going to ask, so how can you help people with self-parenting? Because a lot of us have got partners that are facing challenges, and so how can you help somebody there that's having challenges with self-parenting? How can you help a partner? This is another difficult one.
Each person needs to self-parent
Yes.
for themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're in a relationship where you're self-parenting, you're happy, but your partner is not self-parenting and they won't,
Yeah.
you got a problem.
It's a challenge, isn't
It's
it?
a challenge.
Yeah, but anyway, but very, very interesting talk. Yeah, we'll probably get you back again to do version 3, version 4,
Yeah,
version
no
5.
worries.
Yeah, I know you've got a lot of questions there, but it's my privilege to present you with your certificate.
Thank you so much. I
Okay,
appreciate
you can
this.
frame that and
Yeah.
you can talk to yourself about it, and excellent. Okay, but thank you very much. So listen, that's
pleasure.
it. I've got to say on behalf of everybody, John, thank you, Dr. John, thank you very much. As always, to everybody looking, come along, Expat Club, Tuesday morning, Hotel Barracuda, opposite Soy Post Office in Pattaya. Come along, good camaraderie, good food, excellent speakers. See you all next week.